Welcome back to Financial Coaching Kingdom Men. So glad you're here with me today. And if your finances feel unpredictable every month, it may not be because your income changes. It may be because your expenses aren't organized correctly. You know, the formula, income minus expenses equals debt or savings. And today we're going to talk about that second step, expenses. The fixed, the variable, the bills, the spending, all kinds of fun stuff. So join us. Welcome to Financial Coaching Kingdom Men, the podcast that helps you align your money with your purpose. I'm your host, John. We've all felt the weight of financial stress, the sleepless nights, the silent disagreements with our spouse, the feeling that we're just not in control. But what if there's a better way? What if managing your money was less about math and more about peace of mind? On this podcast, we'll explore a different kind of financial freedom. It's not just about what you earn or what you owe. It's about the emotional clarity that comes from being on the same page with your spouse, the spiritual strength you gain from worshiping God with your finances, and the deep satisfaction of knowing you're building a lasting legacy for your family. Every week, we'll cut through the noise to bring you simple, powerful truths that will help you move from financial chaos to confidence. If you're ready to find clarity, grow in unity, and live with purpose, you're in the right place. Let's get started. So we're going to talk about fixed versus variable expenses, and we'll just define them a little bit. We'll see what they are and how we can make sure that we're taking care of those. Fixed expenses are expenses that stay mostly the same each month. You know, things like your rent or your mortgage, insurance, car payments, internet, subscriptions, child cares, those type of things. Sometimes your rent does go up though, but you got to prepare for that. But you know that it's happening. These aren't things that change each and every month. Fixed expenses help you create that baseline of your financial obligations. These are those decisions that you've made in the past that will constantly be asking for that money now. Now we'll talk about variable expenses. And these are expenses that fluctuate month to month. Those things like gas and groceries and food, eating out, and utilities. Those can go up and down, depends on the part of the season. Clothing or entertainment. Variable expenses require awareness and intentionality. You want to know where you're spending the money. You are able to make the determination of what you do with that money. Groceries, yes, we all need groceries, but we all don't eat the same type of groceries. Sometimes we live a little higher on the hog. Sometimes we're eating the lower on the hog. Many people mistakenly treat irregular expenses. They don't think about them. They don't plan for them. Those expenses that don't come every month, they're not a bill that comes every month, but they are there. Like those seasonal expenses also. So a seasonal expense, those are those expenses that happen at a certain time of year, like, Christmas or the New Year's, or when you're wanting to go on vacation. Sometimes when you're going on vacation. Or those annual expenses, those things that come around once a month. Your car registration, for example. Or maybe you have a subscription that is due annually, then those things can sneak up on you if you're not preparing. And people think of them as emergencies, but they're really not emergencies. They are predictable, and that's huge. Some of those examples would be things like the Christmas. It does come annually, I think, if that's how the calendar works. Those car repairs, those happen. We don't know when they're going to happen, but we can expect them. School shopping, if you got kids, or if you yourself are in school, you're going to need certain expenses. Birth dates. Yep, we like to celebrate birthdays. We did that last night. We were celebrating a birthday here. And vacation. Some people like to take those annual vacations. Some like stay vacations, but you want to plan for them. Oil changes, the regular maintenance on the vehicle. Somebody's got to clean his car today, so I got to do that. So I got to put that on my list. And annual subscriptions. Do you have subscriptions that you're using that you've decided, hey, I'm going to get the annual because it's less expensive than paying for it monthly, and which is a good idea, but then that means you need to be saving for it every month. And then home maintenance. What about those things that can happen? Are you changing your filters? Are you all those things that we want to make sure that we're putting money into to save? These should become planned expenses. These aren't things that just show up out of the blue. We know that they're happening, and so do you. Now I want to introduce you to something that's oftenly called savings buckets. What we're doing here is we're giving our future expenses a home before they arrive. We know they're happening. We know Christmas is going to come, but we're going to save for that. We're going to plan for Christmas. We're going to set aside money for that. Again, these savings buckets we can create, and you can track the money that goes into them. And the examples would be car maintenance bucket or a Christmas bucket. You know it's coming. A vacation bucket. If you want to go see the Aurora Borealis, you need a plan for that. Medical buckets. Are you regularly using your deductibles, your co-pays, your co-insurances? Home repair bucket. Sometimes this is one that we don't necessarily know how much to put in there, but we want to make sure that we're putting something in there because things are going to happen. If you own a home, it will happen. Something's going to go out. Something's going to break. You're going to need to repair it. So plan for that. Emergency fund. 3 to 6 months of emergency funds to know where things are, that you're stable. Make sure that you have that. Or kids' activities. Do the kids play sports? Do you want to make sure that they have money so that they can do that? You want to put that as a savings bucket. Maybe they only play sports in the fall, but that doesn't mean you stop saving in the winter. You can be putting money into that bucket so it's not such a heavy lift once they're starting. Or back to school bucket. How many kids do you have? Sometimes that could be expensive. So make sure that you are saving for those back to school things. When you stop mixing all these savings together, putting it like in one big budget amount or one big line, your finances become clearer and less stressful. It makes it so that you know, oh, I do have this money going into savings for the Christmas. I do have money going into for the medical expenses. We can pay for those prescriptions. And you know exactly where that's coming from. And it allows the stress to just leave your body because you know you're taking care of it. Most people don't actually have a spending problem. They have a planning problem. They know it's coming or they hide from it. But you know what? You can plan for it and you can make that decision. Without buckets, every expense feels like chaos. With a bucket, you've already planned for it. That changes the stress that comes from things, from you going, oh no, I didn't plan for this, to, oh, I got it, we're good, not a problem. Decision making, it helps you figure out what we should be focusing on. Where should we be putting our money? You know what's happening. Also, marital conflict. You guys get to talk about it. You get to spend time together in conflict, but then also helping you to have less stress together. Guilt. Sometimes you're going, oh no, I forgot about that, or why didn't I remember that? And those are things that you are trying to help prevent. Impulsive debt usage. Oh no, I forgot the insurance is coming. Okay, where's the credit card? I got the credit card. Then we can just put it on there and then we're not having to worry about it. Plan for things. Now we want to conduct a financial expense audit. Where is your money actually going? Do you know? Is it just leaving? Is it growing wings and flying out? What you're going to want to do is you want to look at it not emotionally and not ideally. We always have that ideal of this is how we think it should happen. but we want to know how it's actually going. Where are you actually spending the money? When it comes to those fixed expenses, we want to ask, what subscriptions are I no longer using? Do we need all the video watching subscriptions that we have? How many music subscriptions do I have? Are my insurance premiums too high? Have you looked at that? Have you shopped around to see if maybe you could get a better deal? Make sure you're not lessening your coverage, but make sure you're taking care of yourself. Am I overcommitted financially? Sometimes we may be. Sometimes we said yes to too many things in the past, and our previous self is causing our current self some problems. Which fixed expenses are squeezing your margin? Which ones can you cut out? Maybe there are some that you can cut out. Maybe it causes a little bit of a change in lifestyle, but that's not too bad if it helps. High fixed expenses create financial pressures every month. And those are ones that you can't get rid of. Those are ones that if something were to happen, you still have to pay them. Now let's talk about that variable expense audit. We're going to ask things like, what categories fluctuate the most? Is it groceries? What spending is emotional? Are you spending money just because of the emotional hold it has on you? What am I consistently underestimating? Some people, it is groceries. They think they're only going to spend a certain amount of money and they overspend every month. Get a good, clearer vision on that. Which habits are draining your cash flow? Which ones are taking the money? There are probably items that are coming in and every month that you're going, wow, well, the money's gone. This is where awareness changes your behavior. It will change your behavior once you start seeing it and go, oh, wow, I'm spending that much there. I'm going to stop that, or maybe I could change that. Fixed expenses determine how trapped you feel, but variable expenses determine how disciplined you are. Did you hear that? Fixed expenses determine how you feel, and variable expenses determine how disciplined you are. If you're serious about becoming a strong financial leader in your home, you need more than just information, and you need habits. This is why I created a free guide called The 7 Habits of Financially Strong Kingdom Men. It breaks down the biblical habits that lead to real financial stability. Things like budgeting with purpose, eliminating debt, and building margin, and leading with stewardship. This is for men who don't just want to make money, they want to manage it God's way. Grab it through the link in the show notes and start building that foundation. Now let's talk about the monthly true cost. And it isn't a little bit advanced, but you can do it. I got faith in you. An example would be Christmas. Let's say that Christmas costs you $1,200 annually. That's not a December problem. That's a $100 a month reality. Be saving for it. Car repairs. Let's say that you normally spend $1,800 annually. That's going to equal $150 a month reality. Some months you're going to use it and spend the money that you've put in there. Other months, it's just going to save up and you're going to have a balance in that budget. This is simple. You want to convert your annual cost into that monthly preparation. Take those annual costs, divide it by 12, and that's what you could put in there. Depending on where you are in the year, we may have to do some adjustment. So give me a call. We can talk about it. Remember that wisdom plans ahead. Stewardship prepares instead of reacts. And clarity creates peace. Financial discipline reflects intentional living. Plan for where you are, where God has put you. Know well the condition of your flock, as Proverbs 27:23 reminds us. Know where your money is going. Men, are you feeling behind? Or husbands, are you carrying that silent stress of the finances? Or wives, maybe you're carrying it. Fathers, are you worried about surprises, those things that come up that you weren't expecting? And are you constantly fighting as a couple over money? A lot of financial anxiety comes from uncertainty, but you know what? Clarity helps reduces fear. It helps reduces those arguments. It helps you sleep better. This week, let's do these 3 things. 1, I want you to separate your fixed and variable expenses. Get that clarity. Understand where the money is going. Number 2, I want you to identify 3 predictable expenses that keep calling emergencies. Those things that you know that are going to come, but you go, we didn't prepare for those. And number 3, I want you to conduct a 30-minute expense audit. Look for those leaks. Where's the money going out that it doesn't need to be going out? Are the waste, things that you're going, wow, I've been paying for that and I don't need it? Is it spending a little more extra money eating out? Or what are those pressure points? What are those things that cause you the most stress? Those things that need to be addressed? Or patterns. What are the patterns that you have that you are overspending, where you may need some assistance, where you may need to focus? Financial peace doesn't come from predicting every expense perfectly. It comes from building a system that is flexible enough to handle reality. So what happens when the car needs to be repaired and you don't have the amount that you're needing in that account? Gratefully, you are the CFO of your home. You get to make that determination of, okay, so this is costing more. So what we're going to do is we're going to take it from this budget and put it into the car repair budget. So whatever budget that you're going, all right, we'll be able to use that. We'll fund that again and be consistently funding it. But you have that ability. It doesn't have to be perfect. So please don't think that that's the case. We all need flexibility. We all will have things. Life is going to happen. It is going to happen. Murphy's Law is going to come and things are going to break down. We're going to have expenses that we weren't planning for come up. But there's lots that we know are coming that we can plan for. So join me in doing that. So how do you track your expenses? And there are a few items that people use to help track their expenses. And I'm just going to do a little quick overview of them. Okay, so some are like budgeting apps. These are common. These sometimes are easy. They attach to your bank account sometimes if you pay for them. And you're able to actually put it, this bill goes to the home repair. This is your gas bill, all that type of thing. And some of those are great. You need a budget. YNAB is a good option. And EveryDollar, which is the one that I use, it's a great option for you. There's also Rocket Money and others, but they are able to help you determine where you spent your money and where it should be put in your budget. So that's just one option for you. The apps help people see where their money is actually going instead of guessing where it went. One of the other options is spreadsheets. Using a spreadsheet, get your bank statement or your receipts and notate where you spent the money. You can use either Excel or Google Sheets. One of the great things about these don't really come with a lot of expenses. You're able to do it with less money. The budgeting apps, sometimes to use those services, they cost you a little bit of money. But the spreadsheets, you are able to actually do yourself. Why? Because spreadsheets force awareness. They work well for expense audits, monthly reviews, those savings buckets, tracking spending patterns, or couples budgeting together. They work great. And it fits perfectly because it creates intentionality instead of automation only. Some banking apps allow you to help choose where your money was spent. We'll see where your money was spent and help you choose that. So you can look at that to see what they have. So some of them would be great. Some of them are going to encourage you to spend more money and get into debt. So just be careful in which ones you get. And they often look into intentional planning tools, or even using the envelope system or cash tracking system. They really help to give you that understanding and powerfully help you change where your money is being spent, or know where your money is being spent. You could use the cash envelopes where you put money into the envelope and you spend the money out of that. or digital envelope apps. And then also some create category spending accounts where you have an account that you name gas and groceries. And so you only spend money out of that gas and grocery account. Others have a bills account where you put all your money that you're going to pay, all those fixed expenses, those bills, they go into one account. And then you have other savings accounts that you put for your gas and your groceries, or put for your kids' spending, or you put for car, whatever it may be. You name those accounts, those different things. So then that way you know exactly what the savings is going into those accounts for. And there's a lot of great ideas on how to make that work. Some of the good budgeting systems for that is Good Budget, funny to say, and also Every Dollar. Every Dollar helps you with that as well. So again, that's the one I use. And it works well to help you with overspending and emotional spending and variable expense control. Guess what? My trash went up. And I found that out because I was doing our monthly budget, tracking the money, and go, oh, wow, that went up not just a little bit more. Also, my gas went up. Anyway, on a side note, savings bucket systems. People use multiple savings accounts. Like I was talking about a moment ago, you use multiple savings accounts to save for different events or activities, whether it's a kids' sports, whether it is a wedding, whether it is whatever. You could use high yield savings account buckets, and that way you're making a little bit of money. Also, those sinking funds, again, this is all this different ways of saying very similar things. Digital buckets inside banks. So some banks will let you have your account and then allow you to name a portion of the money that's in that account to a different item, whether that's car expense or family fun, dining out, so you can have all these different titles on the account. So that's an option. Or you can actually open up different accounts, different savings accounts at a same bank. So you can open up your app to see exactly how much you have in each account. Popular platforms for buckets could be like Allied Bank or SoFi, or You Need a Budget, YNAB. Some examples that you would want to have for the bucket system would be like your Christmas fund or car repair fund or vacation fund, home maintenance, medical expenses. Some of us need to think about those medical expenses because they come up. There's also the simple manual tracking options, which would be something like a notebook. Just put it down. Hey, this page has all the money that I'm putting into my car savings. This page has all the money that I'm putting into return to school, those things. Also, note apps. You can use a note app on your phone, or journals. You got a journal, you could do it there. Or printed budgeting sheets. You could print out those sheets. You can have that. Those are all great, inexpensive ways of doing it. But guess what? Which one is the best tracking system? Do you want to know? The best expense tracking isn't the most advanced one. It's the one that you'll consistently use. It's the one that works with your personality and your life. Because many people fail by overcomplicating their budget, downloading apps that they never open, or try to become financial analysts overnight. Expense tracking does have 3 levels. Level number 1, awareness. Where is my money going? Usually month 1. Level 2 is planning. Where should my money be going? I want to create a budget and intentionally plan for where my money is going. Level 3, preparation. How do I prepare for future expenses before they arrive? Those savings buckets really help. For the expense audits, let me encourage you to review your 60 to 90 days of transactions. Look back, see where the money went. Highlight a pattern. Do you see something where the money's going? Are there leaks? Are you identifying those leaks? Find out where they're going and coming from. Separate the needs versus the wants, and find the silent spending, those things that you are spending money on that you don't need to. Examples could be subscriptions, or convenience spending, Amazon purchases. Does Amazon drive past your house ever, or are they constantly parking there? Eating out. Maybe it's eating out. Or impulsive spending. Are you the type of person that you do a little bit of retail therapy? Most people don't have a math problem. They have an awareness problem. Financial peace starts with knowing where your money is going. Tracking expenses isn't about guilt. It's about clarity. This journey isn't just about you. It's about building a legacy for your family. If you're married or in a relationship, share this episode with your partner. Have a conversation about the principles we've discussed and start building a financial plan together. A strong team starts with a shared vision. All right, guys, it's time for the Proverbs Challenge. And today it was the 19th. So I read through Proverbs 19. And one thing I love about Proverbs is it consistently pulls us back to wisdom, integrity, discipline, stewardship, and the conditions of our heart, not just our bank accounts. So let me read a few verses that really stood out. Better is a poor man who walks in integrity than one who is crooked in speech and is a fool. Proverbs 19:1. This is such an important reminder because our culture often measures success by appearance, income, status, or possessions. But God values integrity over image. A man can have very little financially and still be wealthy in character. And honestly, character matters far more than appearance ever will. Then Proverbs 19:4 says, wealth brings many friends, but a poor man is deserted by his friends. And Proverbs 19:6 says, many seek the favor of a generous man, and everyone is a friend to him who gives gifts. These verses remind us that to be careful about where we place our identity and trust. Money changes relationships. Sometimes people are drawn to you to what you can provide more than who you are. That is why wisdom, discernment, and humility matter so much. Then Proverbs 19:17 says, whoever is generous to the poor lends to the Lord, and he will repay him for his deeds. This is one of the clearest stewardship verses in Proverbs. Biblical generosity is never wasted. When we help others, serve others, and steward our resources, God sees it. Generosity is not just a financial principle, it's a heart posture. And then there's verse 21 that says, many are the plans in the mind of man, but it is the purpose of the Lord that will stand. That verse speaks directly to financial planning. We should absolutely budget, prepare, save, and plan wisely. But ultimately, we hold those plans with humility and trust God's direction over our own. And finally, Proverbs 19:24 says, the sluggard buries his hand in the dish and will not even bring it back to his mouth. That's a picture of laziness, passivity, and a lack of discipline. And honestly, financial growth requires action, not perfection, not hustle culture, consistent action, budgeting, tracking expenses, having hard conversations, paying off debt, building savings, tracking responsibility. These things require discipline. So here's your Proverbs challenge this week. Identify one area where you need greater integrity with money. Maybe it's spending, maybe debt, maybe honesty, maybe discipline. Number 2, practice intentional generosity this week, even something small. Number 3, review your financial plans and ask, am I trusting God while also stewarding wisely? And number 4, take one action you're procrastinating financially, one phone call, and one budget review. If you found this episode helpful, please leave a 5-star review and share the podcast with somebody else who could benefit from it. And if you want help creating a clearer financial plan for your life and family, reach out at hello@financialcoachjohn.com or schedule a free call at financialcoachjohn, that's JON.com. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time.